you understand?
Hi guys, thanks so much for stopping back by my channel. If you are new here, welcome, and if you have been rocking with me, welcome back. It is Super Bowl Sunday. It is a huge day in America. The Super Bowl is like the biggest stage of the year, okay? We are super excited, but for real football fans, we're also coming to grips with that this is gonna be like the last football that we get until late August. So we're very feeling like kind of indifferent today. But we're gonna get some good food, we're gonna talk a lot of noise, and we're really gonna enjoy what is the Super Bowl. I'm a huge football fan. I've been watching football since my dad, and it just has not stopped. Like since I was a little girl, so I know all about the 1970s. And according to my dad, the 1970s were the last time that real football was played. Like die-hard football fans, jump in the comments down below. Do you believe that the 1970s were like the last time that there was a real football played? My daddy, may he rest on, he was a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so I grew up being a Steelers fan, but then like around 2005, I started to watch the New Orleans Saints because they were like the closest team to where I actually grew up. Even though they were like 5 hours up the road, I still became a huge fan of the New Orleans Saints to this day. So that's what I'm rocking today. Even though we didn't make it this year, there's always next year. So I'm very excited about it. Let's give a brief history of Super Bowl halftime performances. So during the early years of football, marching bands provided all of the entertainment for the Super Bowl halftime show. So we go back as early as the 1960s. I couldn't find any footage from Grambling State University. It was the only HBCU, Historical Black College University, marching bands to ever perform at halftime, and this was in the year 1968. I'm sure they have their performance in the Grambling State archives. I just couldn't find it anywhere, but shout out to you, GSU. Shout out to the Graham family. If you are watching, comment down below. Forward into the 1990s, yeah, I know I'm a millennial. That was the best. We're the best generation. During the 1990s, you had music becoming more and more mainstream. You had music creating like overnight celebrities, because prior to then, you had the celebrities and then you had the musicians. But when the two start to merge and start to become better, you got not only the music industry, you got what we call the entertainment industry. Once the entertainment industry started to become mainstream in the 1990s, people were like, I want to see more than the traditional marching band, because music was such a huge part of life in the 1990s. The NFL recognized that, and they capitalized off this. So in the 1990s, you got your different performers, your Michael Jacksons, your Diana Rosses. You got all of this in the 1990s because music was just that mainstream, and music became more intertwined with that celebrity culture. So that is the history of the Super Bowl halftime performances. Through the years, we have gotten some good, like great Super Bowl performances, and sometimes people only watch the game for the Super Bowl halftime. The NFL recognized this, and one way you can become cross-generational and bring in a bigger viewership is to make sure you are providing entertainment across the ages. So the boomers can watch it, the millennials can watch it, the Xers can watch it, Gen Z can watch it, because it's something for everybody. Even if you're not into sports, the NFL said, I'm going to provide entertainment for everybody. So this is how we get to where we are now in the Super Bowl halftime shows being one of the biggest moments. Artists dream of performing at the Super Bowl. It's a huge platform, huge stage. We have gotten some awesome performances, right? We have gotten some top tier performances, but we've also gotten not so good performances. We have gotten some worse performances. So in this video, I'm going to give you the best performances, okay? And I might counteract this video with the worst performances, in my opinion, that I think for the Super Bowl. So yeah, if you like to see a counteract to this video and you want me to count down the worst Super Bowl performances of all time, just get this video like 1993. We have Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, he doesn't have to say much. He doesn't have to say much at all. His presence alone, and you can see him just standing there, his presence alone commanded the whole halftime show. I'm sure people don't even remember who won the 1993 Super Bowl because they had Michael. Let's be clear. You had Diana Ross. Diana Ross successfully left the Supremes, honey, and she did not look back. Diana Ross went on to perform at the Super Bowl. My mom used to be a huge Diana Ross fan, so shout out to you, Diana. 1998. Ooh, I think I was like second, third grade. I would have loved to actually really take in what was happening at this Super Bowl halftime performance, because they did a tribute to Motown. They celebrated Motown records, and I remember watching that Super Bowl with my dad, because my mom was like, but I remember watching this Super Bowl with him and like really not knowing the significance of this moment. So yes, shout out to Motown records. 2001. Now this is when Super Bowl performances started making more and more sense to me, because I was becoming of age. I was like 6th, 7th grade, going to middle school, so now I can understand who these artists were, because it was some artists from my generation, so I was very, very excited about that. 2001, we had NSYNC, Britney Spears, Mary J. Blige, and Nelly. Y'all, when I say 2004 was Nelly's year, like that was his year. Like the song Hot in Her was like everywhere, and I said her. It was everywhere. It was even on the movie Head of State. You could not escape the Nelly era in 2004. You just couldn't. 2004. Now I remember watching this. I remember this so vividly because I remember I was going for the Carolina Panthers this year. I remember this game very, very vividly. I think they hosted this game in Houston, Texas. Shout out to Houston. And I remember how BET used to do a whole production on Super Bowl Sunday. Like it was just this thing. You got to follow some of the players around and all of that. But this was the infamous nip tuck moment with Janet Jackson. But Janet Jackson also put on one of her best performances of all. Janet is gonna always give you a very, very good show. This show was no different than Nelly. Like you got Nelly again, and you had Justin Timberlake. So Nelly was just on the roll. Nelly was on his roll. Okay. The performance in 2007 with Prince still gives me chills, and I couldn't believe I was actually able to find footage, because y'all know they keep Prince like, you know, Prince is Prince, but his performance really still gives me chill. Prince is one of the greatest, if not the greatest artist of all time. Like Prince, Purple Rain was so beautifully written. Like Prince and Michael, like what a time to be alive. I would have loved to have been like a teenager during that time, like during the early 90s. I was a kid, but like I would have loved to see them like at their peak during the 90s. He and Michael, like, are you kidding me? Okay, well let's just keep moving on. Okay, 2011, you had the Black Eyed Peas. They did awesome. Like Black Eyed Peas had a moment. Like they were cross-generational as well. They were cross-generation and they were cross-cultural. So I really loved their performance as well. I remember watching it. 2013, I mean Beyonce. I remember this game because the 49ers were in it. And I remember we had to wait a long time because whatever performance, something happened where the lights were just out for an extended period of time, and they were saying that Beyonce, her production did it because it was just so powerful and so good of a show that I don't think that actual stadium that year was able to get all of the electricity needed to perform for Queen Bee. I mean, it is what it is. 15, you got Katy Perry. Katy Perry is also cross-generational. She's also cross-cultural. And I keep saying cross-cultural because I'm getting ready to do a video on that. But that's neither here nor there. 17, you had Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga never disappoints. Lady Gaga is going to give you a show. Do you all remember her epic 2009? Like the 2009 VMAs was just a time to be alive. I was a freshman in college and I was like glued to the TV. I was like this. I couldn't believe everything that happened that night. Like the 2009 VMAs, you really had to be there. Her performance in 2017 was no different. That's Lady Gaga. Lady G, baby. All right, we have two more. 2019, we have Maroon 5. Maroon 5, cross-generational, cross-cultural. Like, I just love me some Maroon 5. 2022 was also very good to see. They hosted the Super Bowl in California, so the way they paid homage to the California rappers and hip hop and R&B was very beautifully written. You had Dr. Dre, you had 50, you had pretty much like an aftermath scene, and I just loved it. It was beautiful. Like I don't know who convinced Eminem to come out of hiding, but he did it, and I was like, whoa, is that Eminem? And I love when Super Bowl like performances, like they don't tell you everything. Like I don't want to know who's performed, like who's gonna be like the special guest. I want to watch the Super Bowl and be like, you know. And that was the moment I got from 2022, because I was not expecting Eminem. Like Dr. Dre, yes. Mary J, yes, because she had done it before. I was expecting 50. 50 is still out there. He's still in the, like, he's still in the streets doing his thing, doing the movies and the production, TV productions. So I was expecting him. But Eminem, I was like, what? Alright, so that wraps up like all of the performances that I really enjoyed. Like, I'm sitting here thinking like all the times that I was just glued to the TV. When I saw Aerosmith, when I saw Maroon 5, when I saw Lady Gaga, when I saw Janet, when I saw Beyonce, Kendrick Lamar, when I saw Michael Jackson. Even as I think when Michael Jackson performed, I was like 3. Some of these artists may be controversial, but I really want to see, because you do have to separate the artist from the talent, y'all. We just got to do that. Like, be intelligent enough to do that. But anyway, next year the Super Bowl is going to be in New Orleans, which is yay! And the Saints are going to be in it. But next year the Super Bowl is going to be in New Orleans, and I would love to see the NFL pay homage to the New Orleans bounce sound. Like, New Orleans has played such an integral part in in hip hop. Like, oh my God, if you think about all of the artists and all of the big time record labels that have come out of New Orleans, I think it would be good to pay homage to the No Limits, to the Cash Money. Like, I would love to see Master P. I would love to see Silk. I would love to see Mia X. I would love to see, who else was there? Mystical. I would love to see Cash Money. I would love to see the Juveniles, even though they beefing, child. The Hot Boys, they're a little bit lukewarm now. But I would love to see Lil Wayne. I would love to see BG. I would love to see Juvenile. I would love to see that. I mean, we are going to be in New Orleans next year, so I would just love to see that. Some other people that I would love to see, Justin Bieber. Like, I would love to see him perform. I think he has enough hits to sustain the audience, and that's how I look at it. I don't care about what you have done. I'm mature enough and spiritual enough to give you grace and hope that you learn from your mistakes in your era. And I would love to see Justin Bieber. I would love to see that. And you also have to be able to sustain the audience. Like, you have to have enough hits to sustain the audience, and you have to be able to put on a show, because it is halftime. You have billions of people watching. Like, you can't just get up there with you can have a catalog, but if you don't execute that catalog. I love to see Nelly and the Saint Lunatics. I know they have a very strong relationship, but even though I've seen Nelly in combination with other people, I would love to see him and the Saint Lunatics like solo, and then bring out like other people that he's had hits with. You can even bring out Ashanti Nelly if you want to, because y'all did do Body on Me with wasn't that Akon, I think. So I think that'll be very like lit. Think about that kind of Super Bowl. I would love to see Chris Brown. Chris Brown puts on a show. Chris Brown has an extensive catalog that can sustain a Super Bowl audience. I know. He's very controversial, but again, we're talking about the talent, not the artistry and the character. So I would love to see him perform. Another person would be, of course, Drake. Drake has a huge catalog. I would like to see it executed at our Super Bowl. Jermaine Cole, I would like to see him and Drake can actually collaborate. I think that'll be how like they're doing for this tour. Who else? Let me see. T.I. I think T.I. has a very extensive catalog that can sustain the audience as well. And y'all, we gotta give shout out to Big Draco. Gotta give shout out to Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy he held his own. Like, he had a good run. He had a great run. He hasn't made the best choices, but his catalog is enough to sustain a Super Bowl crowd. Like, millennials will go crazy if we heard Birdwalk, if we heard Crank That, if we heard Kiss Me Through the Phone, See You When I Get Home. If you heard all of that, and you don't necessarily, if you think he can't do it, bring out other people during that time. Bring out the Sammys, bring out the Pleasure P's. Do that, but make sure we keep it interesting. I'm not sure if Blink-182 has actually performed at the Super Bowl. I'm not sure. When I was doing my research for the video, I didn't see any footage of that. But these are people who have been cross-cultural. This video is gonna be longer than I thought. If you are preparing for a Super Bowl party, I gotta get off here because I gotta hurry up and get ready. I need to still run the party scene to get some plates. Last minute, I know I wasn't even gonna do the whole setup thing, but I think I'm gonna do it anyway just to get into the mood. We have tons of food, like I'm cooking a lot, so I need to hurry up and get off here. But I hope you all are gonna have a good day. Remember to always be safe, enjoy today, have fun, cheer for whoever you're cheering for. I don't have a dog in this fight, so Kansas City fans, said friend, bang bang, Niner gang, what's up, you know, whoever. Just let's have a good time. And thank you all for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and I will see you all on my next one. Bye.